your energy forecast for Wednesday, June 7th. So today we do have the moon in Capricorn, going void, of course, very early in the morning and shifting into Aquarian energy. That sets us up for a very interesting day. There are 9 different aspects here today. All 9 involve the moon, which makes it a moon day, which means that this is a highly emotional processing day, and we have a lot of luck on our side because, of course, the moon in Aquarius helps us to emotionally detach from our current situations and circumstances so that we can act as the observer, see the moving parts, see all the pieces kind of aligning without being kind of triggered and activated due to our emotions. Now, this should lead us to seeing the bigger, broader picture because, of course, the Aquarian energy is visionary. We're looking to make some improvements. We're looking for some progress, and we're really looking to rack yet our brains and our heart space to come up with some solutions that, of course, are going to free us from some of the restrictions, some of the obstacles, some of the challenges that definitely came into our awareness over the last couple of days of having the moon in Capricorn energy. So we do have the moon still in Capricorn energy, sextiling, which is a beautiful vibe, with Neptune, who of course is in his place of power in Pisces energy. What I love about this is that this is giving us a little bit of I'm going to say time out to move into imaginary land. Of course, the Neptune and Pisces energy is about our dreams, our creativity, our higher selves, our intuition, where we can grasp a little bit of a vision on where it is that we want to go and moving forward. And the beautiful thing about this is that we actually get to kind of bring it into our physical bodies, into our heart space, into our head space because of the moon and Capricorn. It is the manifesting energy of the zodiac. And therefore, we actually get to bring that dream, bring that vision into our awareness, into our consciousness, into our physical bodies, and start adding some logical, practical strategy, creating some plans, if you will. What it is that we're going to do with this new creative idea, with this new inspiration, with these new insights. It's a very, very beautiful thing to have this realization. But then the moon is going to go void, of course. And lucky for us, it's a very short amount of time. Many of us will be sleeping at this time, so it may have a little bit of an impact on the sleeping arrangements, on the sleep state. However, we lock into this Aquarian energy at 4:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just a couple of minutes later, we have the moon in Aquarius, conjunct Pluto. We know this because, of course, Pluto is retrograde at that Aquarian energy at a 0 degree, which means that when the moon moves into a 0 degree in Aquarius energy, suddenly there's a little bit of a meetup with Pluto. Now, Pluto is the great transformer. He does like to take us on a little bit of a dark little walkabout down memory lane and take us deep within our psyche in order to understand where it is in the past that we've given our power away, where it is that we feared bossing up in our own lives, really taking control, designing, creating, writing the scripts of our lives. And therefore, especially in this Aquarian energy, we're realizing how many times in our lives we actually dimmed our light or tried to play it small or tried to play it safe in order to do what it is that we thought other people wanted us to do. Very much kind of realizing that our unique individual selves that have been designed to stand out here, the ego kind of gets involved and gets very fearful and insecure and doubtful and uncertain about what our role and position is. And therefore we sacrifice our own wants, needs, and desires, and we try to fit in. We try to play it small. We try to do what other people want us to do. And of course, Pluto's whole kind of point, being retrograde in this Aquarian energy, is to really manipulate the boundaries of the limiting beliefs, of those limiting narratives in our mind space so that we can boss up, we can take control, we can stand in the starring role, if you will, of our lives, when oftentimes in our previous experiences, we've given that role and that power away. So the moon is going to interact with the sun. This is going to give us some air on air energy because, of course, the moon in Aquarius, air sign, the sun in Gemini, air sign. We have a beautiful overlap between where it is that we're at We're standing in the middle. We're looking back at where it is that we've come from, recognizing what it is that we got to let go of, what it is that we have to make some changes about, where it is that we feel blocked and challenged, and where it is in this present moment that we're now looking forward, seeing what our options are to actually plan and strategize to create something new in our lives. So this overlap is going to be very revealing, because acting as the observer, which the moon in Aquarius offers us the opportunity to do, we get to see where it is that the old timeline, the old storyline, the old version of ourselves is essentially collapsing because we're no longer aligned with it and we've jumped timelines. And where it is that moving forward, we're seeing one option be favored over the other now. And again, you've been hearing me say that by the time we enter into the final days of Gemini season, which of course holds that new moon in Gemini, we are no longer going to be divided or on the fence, choosing between two different paths, directions, choices, or decisions. We will be kind of leaning towards one over the other. And we are at a very pivotal point here, especially just coming out of the full moon in Sag, where we have seen a different truth. We've seen a different purpose, different direction actually be offered up to us, mostly in the forms of doors closing on old opportunities and options. But nonetheless, we are really starting to see new paths moving forward. And of course, there's still a lot of options to sort through, a lot of variables to consider. But day by day, we are piecing things together. So then the moon in Aquarius is going to sit across from and oppose Venus. Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, money, just moved into this Leo energy. Go ahead, take a listen to the astro forecast if you need a little bit of a refresher and a reminder of what we're in for from now until October. But here's the thing. We also have Venus opposing Pluto. We made that aspect just the other day when Venus actually moved into the very last degrees of Cancer energy before entering into the very first degrees of the Leo energy. So what we're doing here is we are peeling back the layers. We are cracking the outer shell, if you will, on our heart space, on where it is that we are being encouraged to kind of be bold and brave and a little bit risque, to put ourselves out there, to get heart aligned so that we can follow a new path of excitement, of passion, of desire. Now, the moon kind of opposing Venus is definitely going to bring a little bit of edginess into our emotions. We have some other transits here as I kind of continue to rattle them off that are going to kind of join together to create this, I'm going to say, excitable time of realization on what it is that we want to pursue. However, we're taking those particular emotions to the absolute extreme, which means that we are over exaggerating our passion, our excitement, our ability to actually achieve them. And therefore, we're not really as in control of our vision, of our dreams, and of our excitement as we should be and as we want to be. And as the day progresses, we are going to see more and more tests and challenges for us to kind of refrain and avoid the impulsivity that is definitely going to want to trigger us to take action, to make moves, to make decisions. So keep that in the back of your mind. The moon will then go ahead and square, get into the boxing ring with the true node, the north node here in Taurus energy. So this is a square. This is a tension point. This is a conflict in order for us to see where it is that we are still trying to figure out how we want to improve, how we want to grow, how we want to heal, how we want to create something new. We're not certain as of yet. And again, moon in Aquarius, we're acting as the observer. We're kind of sorting through, processing the variables of our options. The true node, of course, wants us to get on the right path in order for us to reach our soul's mission, our soul's purpose, our newest destiny point here on this newest timeline. But we're not making any kind of moves until we have the details figured out. And right now, we're contemplating coming up with a solid plan and strategy. Therefore, we might have the impulse to want to make a little bit of a move or a decision or a commitment. However, we're going to refrain from doing that. We have a lot to consider, and we have a lot of information and details over the course of this week that still need to kind of be revealed before we're going to have the fullest picture, the most information available to us to make the most informed decision. So just hold back. The tension, the conflict is going to illuminate for us, emotionally speaking, where the greatest problem is, where the greatest challenge is, where the need for transformation and change is needed the most. So at least that tension and conflict is illuminating for us what we're struggling to kind of align with, what we're struggling to go through, what we're struggling to make sense of, what we're struggling to actually plan and strategize a way out of. So then the moon in Aquarius is going to square and get into the boxing ring with Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is in Taurus energy. Jupiter is the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. And in this Taurus energy is giving us a full year to be able to really analyze our physical realms, our physical circumstances, our routines, relationships, money matters, long-term goals, and understand what it is that we have to build and create in order to provide a little bit more safety, security, stability, happiness, and joy in our lives. This is going to be a major glow up, but of course, very slow and steady progress, almost so slow that we will not feel like we're making any progress at all until we get to both the halfway mark of this transit and, of course, a year from now and look back on all that we went through and realize, wow, we were making a lot more progress than we actually felt like we were making in the time and in the moment. So this kind of ties into the aspect that we had earlier with Venus. This square with Jupiter, who tends to kind of magnify things, turn the volume all the way up on things. This is a big tension. This is a big conflict, emotionally speaking. Why? Because Jupiter wants us to grow at an accelerated rate. The Taurus energy that he's in is like pumping the brakes and saying, no, 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 we have to go slow and steady. We have to make sure that what we're building and what we're creating and what we're bringing to life is going to be strong enough and stable enough to like stand the test of times here. And so the moon, of course, and Aquarius energy, providing us with this bigger, greater, grander perspective and observational viewpoint on what needs to happen, we are really starting to see, oh my goodness, Jupiter is really pumping the gas while the Aquarian energy and the Taurus energy trying to pump the brakes. Venus, of course, in this Leo energy, pushing for change, pushing for transformation, pushing for passion projects, pushing just to kind of put ourselves out there in a big, great, grand way, which of course we cannot do right now. We're not supported in doing so. The moon will then go ahead and make a positive aspect with Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. And in this particular energy, thank goodness it's a positive aspect. So instead of us kind of picking ourselves apart and tearing ourselves down and exposing the wounds that we still haven't really kind of healed, what we're doing is we're understanding from this observer type of mentality where the change and transformation in our lives is needed the most, where we have to kind of understand that the old version of ourselves, we need to let it go. Why? Because the new reality that we're looking to manifest requires us to be a higher vibration, a higher frequency, a different version of ourselves. The grow up, the glow up needs to happen in order to be a vibratory match with the reality in which we're trying to manifest. So because Chiron's been in Aries energy, really giving us a lot of both, I'm going to say, painful wounds to heal and the realization that we've healed some painful wounds, what we're realizing is that we're going through this, I'm going to say, self-identity crisis, but it's not really a crisis, it's a glow up. Sometimes we need to feel like, you know, we're changing at such rapid rates that we don't know who it is that we are. And we would consider that a crisis because it's not fun to not know who it is that you are and where it is that you're going and what it is that you want to do with your life. However, this is more of a realization on how much we've changed and appreciate the fact that we're able to grow, we're able to heal, we're able to push the boundaries of being the best version of ourselves. So this is kind of like a realization that we are improving, we are making progress. We might not have it all figured out. There are still some major changes and transformations that need to be made, but overall, we are a better version of ourselves than we were this time last week, this time last month, this time last year. And that in itself is something to celebrate. So this is where the funk is going to kind of kick in, if you will. The moon in Aquarius is going to make an interaction with Saturn, the Lord of Karma, who of course is in Pisces energy. Now, he rules over structures and foundations, roles and responsibilities, and always brings a little bit of a negative Nancy reality check. So does this feel good? Not so much. I think this is going to kind of tone the sails down, if you will, that impulsivity, the want, need, and desire to make a change, to take action. All of that is going to be kind of dumbed down. We're realizing where it is that the universe right now is pumping the brakes on our progress, on our actions, and our ability to actually move forward and make some major changes. Not because we're being punished, not because we're not supposed to have fun and create beautiful things, but because we have to do it correctly. And mostly because we don't have the belief system that we need to have to actually believe that what it is that we're setting out to manifest is actually obtainable, actually achievable. So Saturn is like, oh, okay, so you're planning on building a brand new dream and vision on the old structures of belief and the old foundations in which you've created out of your ego self, when realistically the dream and the vision that you're looking to manifest at this time is a product of your higher self. So tell me how that's going to work. Right? Saturn, very, very dry, very sarcastic, very kind of sticks it to you in a way that mind F's you into understanding that you might have the goal, you might have the vision, but you don't have the inner realm structure of your belief system, of your mental plane to actually support the actions, the change, the transformation needed in order to actually build something, create something that is going to resemble the dream and the vision that your higher self is downloading you with and really pushing you into the path of pursuit. So we are really needing to kind of have that reality check to say, okay, dreams and goals aren't enough. I have to do the work within myself in order to change the vibration and frequency of my mental plane, of my mental narrative, of my emotional realm, of my belief system, in order to match the vibration and frequency of the reality in which we're trying to manifest. So then we're going to end the day off with the moon in Aquarius, opposing, sitting across from Mars, who of course is in the Leo energy. Mars is the god of war who rules over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger. He's had a hard time since entering into this Leo energy because he wants to make up for lost time. He hasn't been able to take action and really go after what it is that excites him and what he's passionate about, and what it is he truly desires in this world. He hasn't been able to really identify a new excitement, a new inspiration, a new motivation. And here we are in the heart and the soul of the zodiac, and we're being told that we can't take action. We got to pace ourselves, which is not something that Mars does very well. So this is again where the impulse is kind of pushing us to kind of take action, to make moves. And of course, we're not ready to do so. It's not supported. We don't have a plan. We don't have a strategy. We don't have the greater, grander picture or vision of what all of these different variables would actually lead us into. And so this is a tough energy because it most likely is going to trigger a lot of frustration, a lot of restlessness, a lot of agitation, a lot of just having your inner realm kind of hit that red line, if you will, and not have the physical outlet that we are hoping for to actually exert that energy. So our body patterns would say, okay, we're all full of energy. We have this new idea. We have this new excitement. We have this inspiration. I feel the impulse to take action, to make a move, to make a decision, to commit to something. Well, that is great, except for the fact that impulse is driving you, and impulse is an egoic program, not a higher self program. And the moon in Aquarius is the highest self program. It's the highest form of our intelligence. Therefore, if we don't have the greatest, grandest vision, if we don't have the details picked out, if we don't have a plan and a strategy for ourselves to move forward and actually pursue this new inspiration, motivation, dream, and goal, then we're not doing anything but sitting in the here and now and racking our brain in order to come up with the good plan so that when we're gifted with the green light go ahead, which is not that far away, mind you, we will know exactly how to take action, what we need to take action on, and how to do it so that we don't burn ourselves out long before we actually see those goalposts. And that is one of the downsides of Mars, is that he has poor energy management. And in the heart and soul of the zodiac, which Leo is, we are fired up. We have big feels. We have big emotions. We have big desires. Everything is great and grand and just over exaggerated. This definitely isn't helping Mars kind of cool it down, stay in the realm of functionality, and not act on those impulses. So again, emotionally speaking, there is going to be some agitation and frustration because we're not able to take action and move forward and make progress in the way that we were hoping for at this particular point in the calendar.